everybody. Thanks for joining us on Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Dave.
And today we are going to be painting some torturous items from the Terrain Crate Torture Chamber.
Torture
You
chamber.
do that so much better than me.
Torture.
So I have a lot of little pieces here. Let's see. I have a little cage. Let me see if I pop that up.
Cool.
There we go.
Yep.
Little cage. I have the rack. Which I think we could all go for a good stretch on occasionally.
Yep.
I have a lovely little table here with chains on it to keep you nice and still while they torture you with torture tools.
Implements of torture.
Implements of torture. And then I have a lovely little wooden, I was about to call it a sarcophagus, but it's a coffin, because I have next to it a sarcophagus.
Yep.
And it has dead guy in it.
Skeleton! Surprise!
It fits so nicely.
Yep.
As well as, we were talking earlier, we don't know why there's a sarcophagus with a mummy just hanging out in the torture chamber.
It's a really, really, really old torture chamber. Ancient. And Egyptian.
Very ancient, except that the mummy looks a little still alive. But super cool, all these little pieces. What do you have?
Yep. I have all of those things, except for I do not have the cage, but I have two halves of an Iron Maiden.
Fantastic.
The torture.
They're just so cute when they're tiny.
Yeah.
Anything's cute when it's tiny.
Yes.
Iron Maiden's cute when it's tiny. Little implements of torture cute when they're tiny. It's just it's cuter when it's tiny.
Exactly. Exactly. We have loads of folks.
We do.
Loads of folks in the chat. And we have Sumkey, we have Sean, we have Facebook user.
Ooh, from the UK.
From the UK. Oh, cool. We have Pedro from Peru. We have Byron. We have Christian. We have Chris LAYFIELD from Florida.
Oh, hey.
We can call him Florida Man. It's okay. And Sean, Roger.
Gretchen's mic sounds weird again. That's just me. I sound weird naturally all the time.
It's true.
Yes.
Even without the microphone. Sumkey says we should see a doctor for that coffin.
It's cute.
But Kristen says suggests perhaps that the sarcophagus is there for ambiance.
That's what you said.
That's what I said. I said it was to play pranks on the people that are on the rack. So if you're up on the rack there,
The sarcophagus is
yeah, it starts to open and you can't move.
yeah.
And you're in pain in it already. It's freaking you out. Yep. So
maybe
yes,
we're in
Sumkey
Egypt.
says
Who
that
knows?
your microphone is fixed now.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Mic drop at the end. Oh, hey, there's a Christy Conley. I know that person, too.
Cool. And she says she loves your shirt.
Halloween.
Halloween, spooky.
Gigi. Not that spooky.
Yeah. I decided to wait until after Halloween to have my hair cut.
You should dye it pink with me.
No. N to the O. No.
You had it
Not
teal.
pink.
What's the jump from teal to pink?
The teal didn't take very well, which is why I'm worried that the pink would take very well.
Just pink.
That'd be fine. Be all good.
Let's see.
Cool. Excellent. So, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We do. Because they love us.
Yep. Graham is here as Tabletop Heroes, so I'll have to remember that whenever I see him. Zach Moore. Zach! How you doing? How's Atlanta going? Hope it's going well. Excellent. Okay. We're going to jump in and start painting. So these are from the Terrain Crate range from Mantic Games.
Yep.
Very cool.
21 pieces in total.
Excellent. Yep.
So everything you need for your very own mini torture chamber.
It's good.
Torture your NPCs or your players. Who knows?
All of them. All of them. So yeah, we're going to jump into to painting those. Initially, I was thinking that I'd paint everything brown and do some dry brushing. Then I thought, I have some contrast paints. So I'm going to use some of those.
I always just go, I
Hooray.
should, like, one day actually organize what's within reaching distance. But
Like-
today's
like
not
before the
that
show,
day.
or rather
yeah,
than just
like
sitting
at
there
some point in time. But I'm gonna start off. I have a really light silver, and then I'm gonna do a bunch of things to make it look gross.
Ooh,
Because
nice.
you can't have a clean torture chamber. That's
No,
just
you cannot.
can't have that stainless steel sanitized between victims torture chamber.
No. Not unless you're Dexter.
Yeah, that's just part of the appeal of the scariness of everything is the dirty.
There's a horror film I haven't seen for a while.
The,
Hostel.
I've never seen Hostel. I was supposed to see Hostel, and I was at a party, a theater party, and we started the movie, and I fell asleep at the beginning, and I
Okay.
woke up at the end.
Lucky. No, not lucky. It's a good film.
There's other parts of that story, but not for today.
Not today. Save those for later. But no, it is a very good film. But it is very gruesome.
Yeah, I remember the teeth. That's all I remember.
The witch?
There's teeth
Teeth?
involved? Are there teeth in that?
There are teeth.
Yeah.
People
there's-
have them. They do things with them. But yes. Yes. No, it's mainly the torture that's the horrifying stuff.
Yeah, I'm not much for gore isn't like a end all be all for me when it comes to horror films, but I don't like gore for gore's sake.
Right, okay.
I feel like there has to be a reason that we're gonna get gory. I don't know.
Right. A story around it.
Well, I think, and part of it too is that I get like horrible, like that to me makes me more empathetic towards people than other. Like, you could have
Right.
a ghost being scary and like psychologically torture someone, and I'll be like, oh well. But like, show someone with like their finger realistically being snapped, and I'll be like, oh, I've also broken things.
Yep.
I can't read who put it because it's blue on blue, but it says you better be sanitizing your torture chamber between victims. There's a pandemic.
That's
And
Sumkey. Sumkey said that. Yep.
I'm sure that whoever is doing the torturing has a mask. You know.
I have a feeling that they're not particularly worried. That's
My person torturing is going to wear that.
your torture is very,
My
very
person is wearing a plague doctor.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not so sure. Cool. Oh, Roger has added a photo for the elemental theme. Well, actually, yeah, he said we only had a few in there. I hope it's not too late. Well, actually, it's this week. So from this Thursday
Yeah,
to
you're
next
early.
Thursday. So you're early, yeah, Roger.
You're on top of the game.
Yep. Last Thursday to this Thursday was robotic. So I'm not sure if Roger has time to pop one in now, but sadly no. But yeah. Graham says no gore for me, more of a Hammer horror kind of guy. So
Yeah, I
There we
feel
go.
like
Somebody
I
says
haven't
if-
been doing a
yeah.
lot of horror for this Halloween season. I've just not really been. I've not really been in the horror mood.
right. That's fair. Well, I finally finished off The Haunting of Bly Manor.
How was that?
It was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's kind of amusing. There's a line. So the whole thing kicks off with a guest at a wedding, or sort of at the I guess the rehearsal dinner the night before. After the rehearsal dinner, says that like, she has a ghost story to tell,
Uh-huh.
and everyone goes, "Okay, sure." And she goes, "Well, it's kind of long," and then 8 episodes later, it kind of because actually finishes up the story, and amusingly enough, there's a line in there that some of my friends, it all basically almost paraphrases some of my friends' thoughts on the show, was that it wasn't really a ghost story; it was more of a love story that happened to have ghosts in it. So, but it was very well done. I liked it.
I'll have to add it to my. I was told. So I was talking to unrelated, kind of related. It loops back around to relation. I was talking about we were talking about Halloween and things that we found spooky and different traditions and stuff. And I was curious because I remembered, like, I suddenly, you know, when you have like that flashback to your childhood, like out of nowhere, something just triggers it, and you're like, whoa. I had one of those, and I was curious to know whether or not it was a just my childhood thing, or if it was a universal experience kind of thing, or if it was regional. So, chat, let me know. Okay, this person didn't quite remember and was like, meh, kind of, but then warned me that it had some relation to Bly Manor and that I might not enjoy Bly Manor because of it.
Okay.
And I'll let those who have watched Bly Manor decide on that one as well. But my memory was in Louisiana growing up in the 90s, early 90s, right? Early to mid 90s.
Yep.
I have a very distinct memory. Every Halloween, there was a decoration that was very popular with like little old ladies.
Okay.
And it was the little life-size children in the corner that didn't have faces, but they had their hands over their face.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they were dressed like normal, like they were all year long decorations, but I just truly remember them around Halloween because we'd be trick-or-treating and they'd open their door and I'd see like these little fake children in the corner with their hands over their face.
How big were these fake children
They're
in the corner?
usually around like 2.5 to 3 feet tall. Like they're near life size.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was
That would
like
be freaky.
It is, and it's right. So like, but like, was this just like a Precious Memories thing? Is that's what they're called?
Oh, okay.
Are they part of that? I just remember it was very popular with like older people in the mid to early 90s, just to have these fake stuffed children with no face. And I like whenever I was little, it just scared me so much because I was just expecting them to. You know when you see something and you want it to move, but you know if it did,
it would freak you out.
It would be terrifying.
It'd be worse than it not moving.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I think I would.
Jason, okay, Jason James. I'm pretty sure it's a Southern thing. I never saw it till I moved to Texas. See, it's not.
It's not just Louisiana. It's not just you.
Like it's a thing that people do. Byron, I thought they were homemade dolls. No, you could. These multiple people had them. It was. I'm sure they homemade like because it was all little grandmas that owned them. It was all grandmas.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure they made.
You probably get them at the flea market.
Oh, they're so scary.
There'd be somebody making them in a stall and.
I couldn't.
In the back corner.
Yeah.
She'd be facing away into the corner.
They're all like this, like they're playing hide and seek, or like they're in timeout.
Right.
Yeah, I remember I can't read who says that, but they were pretty rare and made. Some people, yeah. So maybe it's just a Southern thing, like a horrible Southern thing that they definitely shouldn't do anymore because it's terrifying.
Yep. That sounds like it.
Okay, glad it wasn't just me like hallucinating every Halloween. But yeah, I was told if I didn't like those, I wouldn't like Bly Manor.
Okay. There were some moments with dolls, people, things without faces. Sure.
That's good. I just feel like with dolls, like I had a friend who wasn't scared of them at all, and she had tons of porcelain dolls, just all
right
in. I swear they made a ring girl like that. I'm sure they did because it's scary.
Yep.
I only ever had one porcelain doll that my dad brought over from from France. She was a gift
Okay.
from France. My dad went on a work trip, came back, gave my sister and I each a very pretty porcelain doll and my brother a stuffed animal, and I was sad because I had wanted the stuffed animal. And I also I was scared of the porcelain doll. She was scary. My mother didn't like her either. My sister's wasn't scary, but mine had like bright green eyes. You were just, like I said, it's that instinct, you want it to blink, but you know
Right.
if it blinks, you have to burn your house down.
You'll be screaming.
I Googled them, and they're called timeout dolls.
Time
Who
out
came
dolls.
up with that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that to yourself? Could you imagine, just out of the corner of your eye, you see something move, and you just turn around, and it's just one of those timeout dolls at your grandma's?
There's that classic scene in Blair Witch Project where they turn the corner and there's a kid standing in the corner of the room, and it's like that kid shouldn't be there.
Yeah, like that's.
This is the same thing.
I'm not wrong here.
That was a horror
so
movie.
Scary.
Yep. Oh, Sean
Why?
referenced it. Yep.
Why?
All right, Blair Witch Project. Yep. There you go.
would
Absolutely
you?
correct there, Sean. Yeah, that sounds
Why
sounds
were
frightening.
little old grandmas scary like this? They're grandmas. They're not supposed to be.
Byron
And
says
yeah.
my cousin would scream at mannequins. Yeah.
The mannequins
Didn't
didn't
frighten
really scare me so much.
That movie, that was a great horror movie.
What?
Mannequin.
Is that the one where like the mannequin turns into a person?
Here Comes to Life.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like not in a scary way. It's just
Well,
like,
it comes to life for the one guy,
Yeah.
and like there's a scene where like he's riding around on a moped with her on the back, and he thinks she's real, but everyone else sees a mannequin.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a like 80s rom-com, but when you talk about it, it's like, yeah, this is kind of crazy.
Just a little scary.
Sorry. But yeah. Oh,
Oh, Leona.
Leona found them.
Aren't they scary?
Can Leona show us some pictures?
Aren't they scary? Put it up. Put it up. Let the chat live my nightmare.
Okay, everybody, hopefully you're ready.
Suffer with me. They're just scary. So you have to compose yourself now. Now you're like, these are scary.
Prepare.
I think it's because they're so simplistic looking that they look so much scarier.
Jason James says that movie made me fall in love with Kim Cattrall. Was it Kim Cattrall played the mannequin? And I didn't think it was her. Must have been. Josh
Oh,
Riley
time out.
says,
Yes, that is them. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And they're weighted and proportioned to look like real children. Don't they? Like,
yeah, nope.
isn't that? And grandmas just had them all over.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary? Wouldn't that concern you late at night?
I would, like, if you open the, like, with trick or treat, open the door, and they're there, like, sitting behind the little old lady who's about to give you, like, I don't care if she's
Yes.
giving out full-size candy bars. I'd be like, nope, I'm good, thanks. Bye.
Need to leave them just on the sidewalk all over Baltimore.
Yeah. My goodness.
I'm so glad that all of you could suffer that Halloween memory with me.
Thanks for that. Yep. That's good. Cool thing. So as you might be able to see, there we go, on screen. I've just been jumping in I'm using contrast color Wildwood for all of the, there we go, for all of the wood here. Obviously, getting some of my hands because it doesn't fit well in the painting handle. And I've just left pieces. I'll come back and hit those areas that I had to sort of hold on to once that's done. But when that dries, that'll be a great base coat for the wood of the torture chamber here. And I like using a wash for this sort of process, because if you've got that white base coat, white primer coat, the wash will go over very quickly and give you a nice highlight and shade sort of straight off the bat. And because these models have got loads of what do you call it, texture, so loads of wood texture there, it just really works perfectly for them. A few little bits I'm just touching up there. For the Iron Maiden, I wanted to go with a kind of a dark iron kind of look. So I've started by base coating with black. When that dries on the inside, I'll flip it over and paint the outside, and then do some dry brushing with some tinny tin and gunmetal and that kind of thing. So, ooh, what are you doing with yours, Gretchen?
So I'm adding black wash over. I had gunmetal and I had lighter silver, and then on top of that, I dry brushed some smatterings of a dark brownish red, which could be rust or blood.
Okay.
Depends on your imagination.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Probably. I focused on a lot of it where I felt like maybe people would be trying to get out. I don't know. But now I'm just kind of slapping on some of a black wash to make that look a lot older and darker and I can. Mostly I'm just trying not to make a mess. But I mean, when do I not make a mess? Is the real question here.
Wait, you wanted an answer? I don't think so. It's a trap.
But yeah, so I'll let that dry in all the crevices, make that look nice and dark and dirty and dank, and then I'll probably do a little bit of picking out of highlights and probably splattering some more blood, because you know what? It always needs more blood.
Yeah. Can always use more blood. There we go.
But
so I forgot to bring my skeleton horde contrast paint. So instead I'm going to do the skeleton and the mummy with some snakebite leather contrast paint. So it's a little bit darker and more yellow. So I think I'm also going to use it on the sarcophagus. And then I'll just do the slightly different treatments for the wrappings and the sandstone. So that should be good. There we go.
so speaking of haunted houses and creepy things in houses, we have some minis here for just in case we finish up early with doing these terrain pieces, because sometimes those go faster or slower. And they are from
Almost.
I can do that. I got this.
You can do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
go.
There we go. Out of frame, in frame. Betrayal at House on the Hill. And we are actually going to do a giveaway of this unopened box that you now can't see. Can you see?
There we go.
There we go. There it is. Betrayal at House on the Hill. If you've not played it, it's a very fun kind of, you're exploring a haunted house kind of deal, and you are trying to, if I remember correctly, you are working together to try to defeat whatever spooky thing is working against you.
The house.
Yeah. So
I was hoping it was the house that was working against you.
it's the house working against you, but it's also like you have to investigate.
Okay. And do investigative things.
Yeah, it has 50 different scenarios with
Oh,
different
wow.
different things that are haunting. Yeah, I
Cool.
remember my noggin bits. But you have to go. Yes, one of you is evil, and you are going through, and they have lovely little. So
I think it's Graham. Graham is evil.
on your
Is that right? Did I get
on
right?
your cards, you have speed, you have might, you have sanity, you have knowledge, and as you go through the house, you can. I could do that, couldn't I? Wouldn't that just be the easy thing to do? But as you go through, different characters have, different things that they are good at. But you can actually lose and gain sanity as you go through the house. And that has different effects on your character and what they're capable of. It's a really fun game. It's a very involved game. Having all the different scenarios is fun. And if you get a dramatic group of people together, then it becomes a very good fun party game.
Cool. Excellent.
So, would highly recommend. If you want to take part of that giveaway today, what should we make the hashtag?
Hashtag betrayal.
Hashtag
Graham. Any of the spellings would be fine. What's it going to be?
I like betrayal. Hashtag betrayal.
Okay.
Go ahead. There's a D&D version and a Scooby-Doo one as well. There is I have the Scooby-Doo one. I have not played it yet. Tomorrow I'm having people over for spooky fire pit times. We have our little quarantined pod, a little pod group. Maybe we'll play the Scooby-Doo version.
When you say it like that, it makes it sound like the dolphins. I have my quarantine dolphins coming over.
They're smart. Dolphins are smart. It all makes sense.
Either that or mermaids. My daughter's been watching a lot of Mako mermaids lately.
Oh.
No.
Now the minis inside the game are pre-painted.
That's correct.
Not by us. I feel like that should be a clarification.
That's good.
Oh, do you guys want to see? Let's look at the. Sorry, they can't hear me because I wasn't able to set up the mic.
Oh. Can anybody hear Leona?
No, they can't.
Oh, no. You can't hear. Can't hear Leona. Boo.
Let's look at.
Leona is suggesting that we're going to look at
Miniatures.
miniatures. We're going to look at miniatures. Are we going to look at the Promptober minis?
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Robotic. So excited to look at the robotic minis today. So we'll check these out from the awesome Promptober activity. So, oh, Byron. Byron painted up. What is this, Byron? You're in the group. Is it a drone? It's a drone
plane.
of some kind.
It's a
Yeah, it's a drone.
Yep.
very nice.
Very cool. What's it from, Byron? What's the game that it's from? Chris.
Yeah, Byron, you're in the chat, so we can ask you.
Yes, we can. We'll ask you directly. Chris Walker posted his R2D2 and C3PO. Or if you like to work left to right, C3PO and R2D2. Frank Chapman posted up this Dreamforge Leviathan model. It's an awesome plastic kit. Graham painted up. Oh, where's this one from, Graham? I don't know. But Gretchen, check out the shiny purple.
Ooh. That's always fun, because you don't typically see shiny, like, metallic purple kind of in an imposing way.
Yeah, I'm getting a very like 1990s vibe from it, though. Just need some electric teal next to it.
Yes.
Yes. But
No,
awesome.
the 90s had
Great.
high hopes and the color schemes that would go with that. Instead, we got shabby chic.
Yes. Nice. Graham says that it's a Reaper Iron Golem. Oh, Chris Layfield, post up. This is a Reaper miniature too,
That
isn't
is
it?
cute.
It is.
It
It
looks
is very
like
cute.
it's tiny and the paint is so crisp and that little dot of orange. And
Yep.
those are friendly colors.
They are friendly colors,
I'm-
and it also looks like it's dancing.
It does, yeah. I'm sure whatever it is actually very formidable. But if I saw that just like jump out at me,
Yeah.
I would be like, yes,
Hey,
this
let's
is a
dance.
friend. This is that's why I can't be in anything sci-fi related.
Right. Nice one. Oh, Mike. What is this one? Is this a BattleTech? I'm going to show my complete ignorance of mecha stuff. But Mike, is this a BattleTech thing? Mike's in the chat too, so he can answer us.
You can't run.
Fantastic.
Uh,
But no, it looks very cool. Like the little missile pod up there. But I do love the kind of that vibrant blue for the eye.
The highlights on that eye are done really well.
Yeah.
It looks very, very glass.
Yep, looks very cool. Nice one. Oh, Ryan has posted some of his. Oh, it's a heavy gear miniature. My apologies to all the BattleTech folks and all the heavy gear folks. Yep, Ryan's posted up these. These are from War Machine. I believe they might be from Crix.
It's a very nice
Possibly.
lime green.
Yeah, that vibrant green is fantastic, isn't it? Looks really well against that. That really, it's like a deep bluish green. It's almost like coal black, which is one of my favorite paints from Privateer Press, who make those minis. But no, they look great, Ryan. Very nice. And Sean has painted up a Warlord Titan for Adeptus Titanicus from Games Workshop.
So
Looking
many
very cool.
details.
I think that model stands that's about as tall as our my brush mug over here, the pint glass. But yeah, looks great. Should we do a drum roll?
I have
Oh.
paint in my hands.
The mi-
It's a tiny drum roll. It's a
The mini stuck to my fingers.
yeah.
While I was there, the
It's
paint dried.
It's a
on the-
drum roll in your hearts. There we go. Da-da-da-da. It's us.
It's me, I'm the winner.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Woo!
Ryan, way! Congratulations for your completely random win. Yep, that's good. Actually, I didn't see it before. I didn't notice it before, but the water effects on the base
Oh
are
yeah.
very cool. And because it's like the bases are really dark, and it's got that sort of glossy water effect on it. I wonder if it kind of has a feeling of like a subterranean cavern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see that sort of striding forward. Some sort of toxic waste in the one at the front, but yeah, nice work, Ryan. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you are the robotic Promptober winner.
And if you want to have a shot of winning a prize and joining us for Promptober, then the next prompt is Elemental. And all of the prompts are pinned up on the page, right?
They are.
Yeah. And it is Elemental.
It is
Yeah.
Elemental,
You looked
yep.
at me and I was like, am I wrong? I
No.
swear I
I
got an
don't-
email and everything.
I don't always just look at you when you're wrong. Sometimes I look at you when you're correct as well, or when you're speaking, or whatever it happens to be.
But it's Elemental, and we have the prompt list up, pinned up on the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook page, as well as where you will post your minis. It can be something you've painted before. It can be something you paint for the prompt. Have fun with it. And again, we do, as Dave had kind of mentioned or implied earlier, we choose at random. All you have to do is participate. It's not a skill-based competition or anything like that.
Yep.
It's about having fun.
Yep, taking part. Hooray for fun!
So.
Hooray, fun!
Join us,
Cool.
us. And if you're not in the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group, do that.
Join us. Join us. That would be cool.
We're getting closer.
Are we almost there?
We're getting
wow,
closer, though.
that was some hardcore disappointment. We are almost there to what, 2,000 members?
Well, 1,900.
1,900.
We're almost there.
Almost there? Almost.
That's-
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Tell your friends. Paint more
Fantastic.
minis. You know, if you paint minis, you are one step closer to being like the actor from The Witcher. So, you know, you might not be able to have his workout routine, but you could have his mini painting routine.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Wait, you were looking at me when you said that I don't have his workout routine. How could you tell? How can you tell? It's true, I don't. He wishes he had my workout routine. He wishes.
I'm sure he does.
He does.
Because
Quite often, I'm sure he wishes he is like, I wish I could just sit around and do nothing.
what's
I don't
his
just sit
name?
around
The
and do
the guy who was in High School Musical, and then became actually famous. Zac Efron. Yeah, that's his name. But the guy who can sing, he recently did like a food show where he got to like eat pasta for the first time, and since he had to like work out for a role, and
Oh,
he
right.
cried. And I was like, man, this is why I could never be like that level of famous.
Yep.
Because I couldn't give up pasta like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Nor could I. Nor could I.
I too would cry if someone was like, no more pasta. Be like, how much are you paying me? That's a hefty ask.
All the monies.
Well, if it's all the monies, I don't know.
You might think about it.
I'll think about it. But I've had some really good pasta in my life, and I'm not even judgy with pasta. Like, you can bring me to Olive Garden, and I'm like, this is never-ending noodles.
I think that it's the thing that always sort of confuses me is like that there are so many like Italian restaurants or pasta restaurants, like Olive Garden, Olive Tree, Olive Grove.
Olives are delicious.
These are all restaurants that I've eaten at, by the way. But pasta is it's the most simple thing to cook. Yourself.
So good.
It's so inexpensive, but it doesn't take long. It's really, 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 really easy to do.
I want to learn how to make my own pasta noodles.
Fun? You want to learn that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be easy, and the last time I did it, I did not do it well.
Okay. I've done it before. In Italy.
Oh, you made
In
pasta
Florence.
noodles in Italy?
I did. Yeah.
That's fancy.
Went to Florence for my 10th wedding anniversary, and we did a couple of cooking classes.
Look at you. Did he retain any of it? Are you gonna make us pasta? Now you have
No.
to make us pasta.
I'm not going to make. I'm not going to make the actual pasta. I mean, I'll boil it out. Like I'll get a packet of pasta. It's way more convenient that way
So rude.
on me. But the sauce will be c'est magnifique. Wait, that's French.
I don't like.
It'll be French
tomatoes.
sauce. It's going to have lots of garlic and wine and cream. It's going to be coq au vin, okay?
All
it's
of our
it's
Italian
not actually going to
viewers
be pasta.
just left. This is why we have no one from Italy watching us paint minis, Dave.
It's not the only reason. It's not the only reason. It's one of the
Vallejo's
reasons.
gonna run away. They're Spanish. That is right. Well, now they're really gonna run away.
I don't know. But yes, this paint is going to dry eventually. It is the problem of using a wash on the show. I've lamented that many
That's
times.
why I'm going like I'm going in a circle. I'm getting everything with the base coat, and then I'm letting it dry, and then I'm just swapping back around.
Right. That's fair. Sure. Yeah. Let's look at some minis. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, excellent. Brett is painting up some termagants for Tyranid army.
Those are cool.
They are cool.
And not just because they look like velociraptors, also because they
predominantly
kind of
because-
look like the things from Alien had babies with a velociraptor.
Yeah. Yep. Very much like that. The Tyranids are draw a lot of influence from aliens, from the Geiger work. But no, these are looking good, Brett. I'm really liking the color palette as well. Got that desaturated green. You've got that vibrant green and the vibrant purple. They're all fairly close together on a color wheel, or all on the same side of it. But yeah, looking good. Very nice. Cool. Who is next? Just that one. We only had one post. Yep. Excellent. Yeah, I remember seeing this one on the group. Don painted up his first test model for his new Chaos Space Marine army.
What a nice vibrant red on those wings.
Yeah, it is wild, isn't it? Looks very cool. And so I think Don's used a little bit of dry brushing. So gone in with a base red, and then some dry brushing and a little bit of wash shading there. You can see it's a little bit darker around the edges of the wing membranes. But yeah, looking good, Don. I think an army like this will look sweet. Very cool. Oh yeah, Doug is working on a diorama here with two awesome dragons on it, fighting over this town. One of the things that can't quite see on that picture, but down the front, Doug's done a bunch of, he's poured some clear resin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see those. There are lots of little things that look like they're floating in the water or have been washed up on shore. Skeletons.
Oh.
So there's rib cages, pelvises, heads.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really
Looking,
want to make a giant diorama one day.
Yeah. And you can see how big that is with the paint pots in the background there. So, but yeah, looking great. Nice work, Doug. Oh, Elizabeth painted up Killer Croc.
That's a cool sculpt for Killer Croc.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's
The face is much more like mid-transformation than you typically like. I feel like
Right.
when I see Killer Croc, a lot of the times in sculpts, it's like more crocodile
right. Okay.
with like lab coat.
Yeah,
And this looks much more like mid.
mid transformation. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I think it's cool. I'm curious as to where the mini is from. I think is it Night Models for the Batman game, or is it from a board game? The base suggests a board game,
Yeah.
but
Don't know.
some key said, "I don't see a single D6 in that diorama." Nice work. Excellent.
Mini
Next up we have Jordan Brzezinski.
first ever D&D character.
Very cool. I like that. Very nice. So I guess a question for Jordan would be, is that a miniature? You've painted a miniature for your first character. Is the first character new? Is this you're starting playing D&D now? Or is it from an original that you played 20, 30 years ago, painting up a miniature that matches that character?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
You're asking the hard questions.
I am. I like to ask those ones because I know that I think at some point I probably painted up a miniature for my very first character. It was a dwarf fighter, and I'm wondering if Rick has painted up one for his.
I would think.
Yeah,
That's
I'm pretty
something Rick would do.
It does sound like it. I think he's kept like a character sheet from all of his characters. But Jordan, this is looking very cool. I love that very sort of desaturated blue, gray, green kind of feel for the clothing, and that looks like a sprinkling of snow on top. But looking really good. Nice work. Josh, progress update on this guy and any advice? So I think at the moment here, Josh, you've got all of your looks like you've got all of your base colors down. Everything's blocked in. I think the next stage from here is to pop in some shading. I think for the I'm not sure which way I'd go with shading on the silver.
I kind of like the silver not too tarnished, because
Yep.
he does look like a very, like with the crown and everything, it's very kingly, very stately. That's a
Sure.
guy who can afford to
Like,
keep his
keep
armor
his armor
looking
polished
nice.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. But I'm just wondering if I'd go with a like with a black or with a hint of blue in there,
Ooh,
because it's got lots of warm colors going on with the reds and the yellows and that kind of thing.
Be nice, might reflect the skin real nice.
Yeah.
Be nice, might reflect the skin real nice.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, maybe a little bit of purple in there too. Could
That'd be
could be good, because that'll balance nicely against that yellow and the gold. And then for the red on the tunic, the torso, clothing that is got under the armor there, I'd be tempted to use a little bit of a desaturated green to shade that. I'm probably going to suggest something like coal black from P3 line would work really nicely for shading there. So yeah, for the armor, the shading, I'd probably just use a wash for that, and maybe a wash, maybe something a little bit more controlled, where you're actually painting it into the recesses on the red areas. But yep, coming along, Josh. Nice one. And next up we have Chris. Chris has been painting Reef Miniatures Townsfolk Undertaker. That looks very cool, Chris. Nice work. Love the red gloves and red boots. Look really cool.
He's fashionable.
Yeah, totally fashionable. And the object source lighting work there coming from the lantern. And of course, being an Undertaker, you have to have a lantern with skulls on it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
so that people can know that you're
you're
the
all about
Undertaker and not
death.
just some dude.
Not some random scary guy in a tall hat. But yeah, nice work there, Chris. Looking good. Very cool. Oh, Matt Cohen, we clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour. That's looking good. That's got some it's a really sort of deep red, and I think with the, not sure if because the paint's drying or because you've got a gloss finish on it, but it's got a very sort of glossy blood kind of feel.
It does have a very, very bloody kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. I'm also not sure how much the orange plate underneath it is affecting the colors with the photography.
Oh, true.
Possibly a little bit, but no, looking good.
I like seeing bright dinosaurs because you honestly don't know what their colors would be.
Yeah.
And a T-Rex would have the ability to have fanciful colors because he was the top dog. He
Right.
could do whatever colors he wanted. No one was
Nope.
hunting him.
Yeah. It didn't have to. He didn't have to camouflage himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Cool. Okay. And now that one, I think I'm liking the look of that sarcophagus. I think Dave could probably do a little bit more work on it. Maybe bring out some highlights. But yes. And look at that. The paint is
nice
almost dry.
little dingy wall.
Obviously, I thinned my black down a
I
little
keep
bit too much.
touching things with my fingers because I forget it's easier with a base
All right, yeah.
to not touch things and get them dirty and go no.
So I think one of the things that this is showing, that we have the paint on our fingers,
Yeah.
is that a good thing for us to try next time,
Messy people.
or for you to try at home when you're painting it, is get some old paint pots and some blue tack,
Oh.
and blue tack them to the paint pots.
That,
I'm just thinking of this now, Leona. So
I just like becoming one with my
I feel bad.
medium.
I feel bad.
Also, fun fact, Leona and I have learned that if I take hand sanitizer to my hands,
Yep.
the alcohol in it breaks down the acrylics.
The paints.
Yeah,
Yep.
water-based. So I'm able to quite swiftly. If you ever need to if you're like, oh, paint's all over my hands, and I've got to be somewhere where that's not supposed to happen.
That
Hand
doesn't sound like the
sanitizer.
kind of place I'd like to be. That sounds terrible. Why would you ever want to go somewhere like that? Actually,
No idea.
no idea. Okay. So I have a little bit of sand yellow here, which I think is going to be good for this sarcophagus lid. And so I'm going to find the right brush.
See, I went with the more red-brown color, like the clays, but I
Okay.
like to pretend that I'm gonna have the mental fortitude to go back in there with like turquoises and
Right.
yellows and light reds and be like, ah, yes, colors I remember from art school,
Right.
being in ancient Egypt. Red and blue, that turquoisey, that like clay red color and turquoisey, and I'm just gonna paint him to look like the inside of a cheesecake factory.
Okay.
So
That for some people that's torture.
we
For people who are lactose intolerant. Leona said that it's torture for her.
Things that you would see inside of my personal torture chamber, those little tiny timeout children, and apparently cheesecake.
Right. Nice.
What unexpected item would you have in a torture chamber? Unexpected.
Unexpected.
Yeah, what unexpected, unlikely item would you have in your torture chamber?
A kazoo. A kazoo. Yep.
Chat, what weird, unlikely, safe for work item would you have in your in your miniature torture chamber?
Oh, miniature torture chamber? I'm not
What
sure.
these are mini, like
That's
these
true.
are mini. A mini kazoo,
Mini kazoo,
the size
yeah.
of a grain of rice.
Excellent.
But yeah, what unlikely item would you have in your torture chamber?
I'm not sure. What would you have in yours?
Well, I just said those little children. Those
Oh, the little children,
Yeah, those
okay.
little scary
Well,
timeout
they
children.
are kind of scary. What thing that isn't scary as such?
Which, oh,
Like if you look at it,
they're
you don't
unlikely,
really
though.
have you don't look at a kazoo and run screaming. But you know that if you were strapped to one of these devices and somebody just marched around playing kazoo
I feel like
for
you-
4 hours on end, I'm not saying I have children, but I I know.
recorder. The mandated recorder.
Yes.
Oh, I see. If I can't have those, now I gotta think about it. Now I gotta think about it more.
Okay.
Kazoo was a good one.
Yeah.
Kazoo was really good.
As I said, I have children who I love dearly. I do.
Mike Becker says balloons.
Okay.
Bytron says chalkboard. Ooh, no, that's a good one. I hate the sensation of my own nails on a chalkboard.
All right. So if you were strapped to one of these things,
And you just take my nails and do it. Yeah, it's bad texture. I like other people's nails on a chalkboard. I'm like, that's weird. But my
your own.
own nails, I don't like the texture.
Right.
Chris Layfield, constant fresh coffee with a sign for torturers only. That's a really good one. Oh man.
I don't know.
See, I feel like I would say something like glitter, but that's not like. That's only torture if they have an important meeting after.
Well, torture and their favorite suit, or
Yeah.
torture and
Tabletop Heroes
torture
has
and their favorite rug.
buttons.
Sorry, glitter and their favorite rug. buttons? Buttons like, do you mean buttons like the little buttons that go on clothing and are used to fasten clothing, or buttons that you push? I'm not
I
sure.
have something that would glitter only tortures the torturers. I have a weird one that just I don't like in general. So, before Maryland, I had never picked crabs before. I'd only eaten crawfish, and I'm good at eating crawfish, but I'm not good at picking crabs. The texture of a crab's lung, like its lung,
Yep.
just that just crab lungs. I don't like them. It's bad.
Yeah.
I'll make other people pick my crabs. I'll be like, no, I don't want to touch its lungs. Byron, bubble wrap. Bubble wrap would make me happy.
Well, if somebody else was popping it,
Yeah, no.
but you weren't allowed to, I know that would be torture for my daughter Lucy. She would just be like,
A drum set and a 3-year-old.
Right.
I feel that.
Yep. That's fair. I was going to say as well, for those folks who aren't from Maryland, picking crabs is when you take the steamed crab and tear it apart and pick out all of the crab meat.
The mustard.
It's not really.
I'm not a big fan of the mustard. The crab mustard.
It's gross.
Yeah,
It's a little gross.
it can be. But yes. Rather than actually just like picking out the crab. I'll have that one.
It's just lungs.
But yeah. That's cool. So as well as finishing the Haunting of Bly Manor, I watched the final episode of the first season of Lovecraft Country,
And how's that?
which was good. Yep. I've been enjoying Lovecraft Country. I won't tell you what happens, but it's kind of be interesting to see how they try and do a second season. As they sort of, there was one sort of fairly major plot point that I think they might struggle with, but we'll see how that goes. But I did enjoy it; it's quite good. And I also last night I watched a movie called Pandemic, because as you do in 2020. But it was a very interesting low budget. It felt very low budget zombie film.
Oh.
But it was interesting because I didn't recognize the lead actress at all. But all of her, all the other supporting roles, I recognized everybody. And I was like, so there was Paul Guilfoyle, who was he was sort of one of the high-end detectives in CSI, the Las Vegas CSI. He was in it. Missy Pyle was an actress who I remember as the mother of Violet Beauregard in the remake of The Chocolate Factory. So I think it would be Charlie in The Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
So she was in it. Mekhi Phifer was in it, which immediately sent me back to, because it's a zombie movie, it was like, hang on, he was also in Dawn of the Dead. What's going on? He must enjoy the zombie films. And Alfie Allen, who played Theon Greyjoy, was in there too. And of all the supporting cast, like, he's the one that lasted the longest. Oops, spoilers. You're not gonna watch it. It's not very good.
I'm gonna go home and watch it now. I don't know. You don't know me. You don't know my life, my
It's true.
choices.
I am just going to say, I think they spent their money on the supporting cast.
That's so weird.
Oh yeah, it was totally weird.
I don't know. That's kind of what the scary movie I was in did.
They spent on the supporting cast.
Yeah.
You were the supporting cast.
Yeah, but they
See-
also had like Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did realize last night that because I enjoy horror films, I've watched all the good ones.
Now you just have to wait for more to come out. You gotta be patient.
October's almost over. It's almost over. I have like 10 days left.
Wow, it really is.
And then I have to put my horror film enjoyment back in the box for another year. No, not at all. But yes, has anybody else watched anything good? Like Becca? I know the worst was having to read Goodnight Moon more than once a day.
Oh, you know what I would have? I would have the Mickey Mouse hot dog song on repeat.
Hot dog, hot
Hot
dog,
dog,
hot
hot
diggity
diggity
dog.
When I used to nanny, that just continuously forever.
Yep. That's fair. Absolutely fair. That sounds like, yeah, if you had that on in a torture chamber.
Just repeat forever.
Hmm?
So just on repeat forever.
Repeat forever. Exactly. Okay, so with the sarcophagus here, I've just been going along and highlighting each of the tiny panels. Of course, I'm enjoying it. A chance to paint a little carved face there, and not have to paint it in any sort of flesh tones. It's pretty neat.
Mike Becker says, people need to watch Enola Holmes. I did watch Enola Holmes.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was very good.
Totally, but we haven't discussed it because
It's not scary.
not scary. Not even the point where she jumps off the train, because it's really early in the film and you know she's going to survive.
I will say there is a part at the end that I actually thought some bad news bears things were going to happen. And I was like, oh no, they wouldn't. I wasn't prepared for things to get like that.
Like, to go dark. Yes.
Like I was like, oh no. But it was good.
Oh yeah,
I was pleased.
definitely
with it.
a fun film. Speaking of Henry Cavill.
Evil Dead's also very good.
Yep. Sleepy Hollow is my Halloween jam.
That's been Netflix keeps trying to recommend that to me, and I'm like, I've watched this several times. Netflix.
Yep. Maybe it just wants you to watch it more and more times. All the more often. Oh, okay.
Question from the chat.
What army are you gonna paint?
Oh, what army? Oh, that is a strange question there, Daniello. You mean on the show? If it's on the show, we're not actually going to be painting any armies on the show. But today we're painting terrain from a terrain crate from Mantic Games. This is from the... I know I'm painting a sarcophagus, but it's from the torture chamber set. We have the other torture devices sort of on the table here. That once that the wash is dry, we'll get to put a dry brush on. If you're talking about in my personal hobby, outside of the show, I'll be continuing work on my Death Guard for Warhammer 40,000. So that's what we're working on. A Nurgle, yep. So yeah, Nurgle is the Chaos God that the army is devoted to, that all the little tiny men pray to. So yeah, so the Chaos Gods are Nurgle, Khorne. That's Khorne, rather than just like the corn of the candy variety. Just to make another Halloween reference. Zinch
Need to bring some
and
candy corn in.
Slanesh.
Do you have any gold over there?
I think I do. Yes, I do. Would you like some gold?
I would love some gold.
You ready? Coming over the top of the screen.
Maybe go.
Oh, too far back.
Caught it.
Yes! I thought I overshot. I was going to feel really bad.
The real question is if I toss it back to you, because I only need a wee bit for sarcophagus details,
Okay.
will you be able to catch it?
No. I don't have the same workout regime as Henry Cavill. So
I'm sure the only thing our workouts have in common is swords.
yeah. I don't even have that. It's a shame. We both get up in the morning. There you go. Ha! Similarities. I'm saying. I'm going to use that one. Yep. I'm going to use this one. So do a little bit of dry brushing on the lid of this sarcophagus with some ivory. Vallejo. Of course, when you're just painting on little bits of acrylic paint, they dry very quickly. It's when you're slapping on loads of them, thin down, that they take a while. But there we go. That's looking good. And this is the point that I realized I didn't paint the back. I'm going to have to do that now. Oop, wrong one. There we go. So fortunately, I can let that dry now while I do the. Sorry, now that I've done the front, I can.
See, I was like, mine's a
back in.
king. Mine, I paid attention in art history, maybe. It's got color. It's colorful.
Okay. This one says 80s Fright Night or Poltergeist are my favorites. Black Christmas. From Byron.
Oh, because the title is wrong.
Oh, okay.
That's why Daniela is confused.
Oh,
Tell him the title is wrong.
the title.
Oh,
is
sorry.
wrong.
Yeah, sorry, Daniela. We painted, it was last week that we painted the Infinity models from Corvus Belli. I painted a model from the Nomads, and Gretchen painted a model from the O12 armies. So sorry if you have been confused by that. On the, oh, is that what it's showing up as on YouTube?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So we apologize, Daniela.
I'm going to change that.
But Daniela's working on is assembling the combined army of Shavasti soon. Well, if you wanted to join our Facebook group, Daniela, Painting Happy Little Minis, and when you start painting them, you pop up some photos, and there'll be plenty of people in the group who will be happy to offer suggestions as we go through. Cool. Byron says that it looks like chocolate. I wonder if he's talking about the inside of the... A little bit there. I hope nobody tries to eat these. They wouldn't get very far. I'm going to give the base just a little dry brush of the sand yellow that I've got here. Just around the edges, so that when the top goes on, it'll match a little bit. And then a little bit down the center. Oh. And then sometimes it disappears and reappears. Like magic. Okay, moving right along. Tell you what. Okay, so I'm going to wash that out and grab another dry brush to get started on the Iron Maiden. Which one are you working on at the moment?
I
Gretchen?
am finishing up the sarcophagus.
Oh, cool.
So
Have you put some blues on there as well?
I did. I put some blues. But that is.
Oh, wow. That looks very cool.
I don't entirely remember from the music. I missed a spot up there. If I just tilt that this way, there we go. It does kind of look like a little candy. But I don't completely remember the goings-ons at the Egypt part of the exhibit in the museum. But I remember teal is definitely a color.
Oh, yeah.
So teal it is.
Blues and golds and teals and bones and reds. Lots of colors like that. Okay. So these ones are just dry brushing with some tinny tin. Just want to have that.
I have
And
this
underneath,
page. That does look
because I
nice
painted
and
them
spooky.
thinned. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe this Iron Maiden is haunted. But it just seems like one of the first things that I painted hasn't dried yet, and it just, no matter how much I sort of dab it off, there's always more thin black paint to go all over my hands. So yeah, I think next time we'll definitely work with the blue tack on the paint pot lids.
It's fine.
Cool.
Do some.
There we go. Okay. Let that dry. And hopefully the back of it will dry as well. You see that little line on my palette there?
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's sort of where it's leaked down from inside the lid. So, okay, next up, do a little bit of, maybe it's just really humid in here today,
It's definitely humid today in general.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell because I wore my hair down.
The last few days of humidity in Baltimore. Fingers crossed. Or
Dave.
it could also be because I'm resting them on a wet palette. I've just realized that.
Oh, that's what it is.
Gonna put them off to the side and rest on this this mat over here. Yeah, that's what it is. It's totally that.
That's what it is.
I feel so stupid. Yay. Oh well. So, cool.
You can look at the rest of the minis.
Yes. In a second, Byron says, I've seen Bigfoot, actually, too. Now, the question there is it a movie called Bigfoot that you've seen? Or is it the cryptid Bigfoot that you've seen two of? That's the question. The answer is incredibly important. We'll find out in a second. But yes, so we do have some more minis from the group. Shall we have a look at those?
Yes.
I'll let those dry brushes dry. Bring this one out. Oh, Michael Bull is picking up a Knoll pack leader. This is why I wonder if this is one of the WizKids Knolls. Not sure.
Oh no, I got gold on my skeleton. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that work. We're just.
Well, you can put that inside the sarcophagus, and the skeleton would just be a very wealthy guy. But sorry, Michael's Knoll pack leader. I think it's from the WizKids range. I'm not sure. But looking really good there. I'm liking the kind of the goldish sort of coloration around the around his head, over the top of the head and around the sort of shoulders there, which really sort of picks it out as the pack leader, no doubt. But the also the bright green tuft there on the base works really nicely with the red, of course. But yep, excellent. Nice work, Michael. Michael Gonzalez is painted up as some Gene Stealer cultists. I'm a big fan of the Gene Stealer cultist models, but there's so much detail on them. So much detail. They take forever to paint. And Michael's done a fantastic job here of picking everything out and giving them their proper treatment. They look great. I'm sure Michael would agree with me when he says that this is probably enough. But it's not. It's never enough. You need another 20 or 30 of them. But no, they look great, Michael. Nice work. Oh, Renru. Court Investigator by Kingdom Death. Yeah, this is really, really beautifully done model. Oh, great. I just love the the range of colors there. The green and the blue work really nicely together. That sort of desaturated jade green almost.
Mm-hmm.
Very nicely connected to the foliage on the base. And then of course the reddish orange working really well there against it all. There's just so much detail on this mini as well, just like the previous models, but this one's got even more, I think. I'm not sure if you can see it there on the pic, but running down the front of the waistcoat underneath, there's like a little
zigzag of gold.
Yeah, and just beautifully done, really well picked out. Yep, looks great. Nice work. Oh, Robin Malik. Madame de C from Meow. Meow. Is it Mao? Not Meow. Mao. Mao.
Meow.
Wow. Miniatures. She looks great. Very nicely done. And I love the gold and silver on the mask there as well. But yeah, picking out the little details around the bodice, around the sort of the lazy work around the top and the bottom of it, and those little panel lines as well. Great detail there. And I love the hair. You haven't gone for sometimes when people paint blonde hair, they go very yellow. They're much more yellow than blonde. But I think Robert's really hit the nail on the head there with that blonde hair. Nice work. Good one. Oh, Sebastian is painting up an Ivysaur assassin. It's looking very cool, coming out of the up and out of the snow like that. That the skull helmet is looking really good. It's a great sort of focal piece there. Apart from the snow, it's like the brightest thing on the miniature, but looking really, really good. And that's not sure if the needle on the end of that pistol there it's kind of sharp enough. Looks like it would hurt if it plunged in. Maybe that's the point. But yeah, nice work there, Sebastian. Good one. Oh, Sean Gleason is painting up a wrecked ship. Now this is from this is a terrain piece from the Ideneth Deepkin from Games Workshop. But it kind of looks like a piece from a sort of an aquarium sort of scenery piece. You could totally use it for that, for sure. But
Expensive
pardon?
aquarium piece.
The owner is saying expensive aquarium piece. This is true. This is true. It would be. But yeah, this is looking great, Sean. I think I'm curious. Are you going to be doing? Well, I guess the tough part is with it is that it's magical, and that's what Sean. I think that's what Sean's trying to represent here with the that ethereal green kind of look, and the realistic brown. So kind of phasing in and out. But yeah, looking good. I'm interested to see how you paint all of the little barnacles on there as well, because there are a ton of barnacles on that piece. But yeah, looking nice, John. Good work. Oh, Stacy said, it's only the third time I painted this dude, but finally happy with it.
Love all the colors.
Yeah. I mean, the purple and blue just really sort of pop against all of that brown leather. So yeah, it looks great. And I'm not sure if it's the photo, but it looks like there's a little bit of purple in his hair as well, which kind of makes my eye sort of loops my eye around the model. So I look at the bright purple on the right hand side there, down to the purple on the base, and then I'm drawn back around to the face by the hair. But no, nice work, Stacey. Worked out well. Cool. And Sean says, yes, they are. So they are magical. So, oh, Tim Patterson, the Adrax Agatone model. This is from the Salamanders chapter of Space Marines for Warhammer 40,000. But this is looking really cool as well. I really liking the green has a very again, like Sean's ship has a very ethereal kind of feel to it. Just that hint of blue in there with the a sort of jade kind of feel, where it still has a lot of color in it, but there's just that little bit of desaturation. It's looking really good. And as well, the colors you've got going on there, the yellow and the brazier at the top around the yellowish bronze on the flamer, that little cowling, the heat dissipator, around to the lava underneath, and then onto the hammer on the other side. It kind of keeps you sort of circling around the model in that loop. So, yeah, definitely nice work there. Go on, Tim. Excellent. Hooray! But yeah, lovely work, everybody. So, Gretchen, where can people find those minis?
So, if you
Not
would like,
individual ones. If they want to see more of those pictures.
if you'd like to see any more of those pictures, contribute to those pictures, look at those pictures whimsically while neglecting your own minis. You can find them at the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook group. All you have to do is click the join button. Then you've joined. You're
Yep.
part of it. You can see minis.
And one of us will let you in to the group. Welcome you to the group.
So,
But yes, that'd be
by one of us, he means Leona.
one of us. I get to do it sometimes.
You do it sometimes?
I do.
I don't.
No?
Do you want to give me that power?
Give her that
I don't know
power.
if I
Give
want
her
that
that
power
power.
through my Facebook page.
No? Okay. But yeah. Nice work, everybody. Thank you very much for posting those up. It was a good sort of mix of minis as well.
What?
It was a good mix of minis that we got to see today.
Yeah.
Some small minis, some big minis, dioramas, all sorts of cool stuff. But getting back to the real question of the day, Byron says, real life creatures.
So Byron's seen Bigfoot.
Twice.
Two different ones.
Two different ones, one brown, one black. Yep. Interesting. Where did you see these, Byron? Where? Inquiring cryptid hunters want to know.
Did you know I auditioned to be the host for a cryptid hunting show?
I did not know
I
that.
obviously did not get the part, which is foolish on their behalf because I think I would be the best cryptid. I would be so enthusiastic, whether or not I actually believed in the said cryptid I was hunting. I would be so enthusiastic.
Yep. Yeah. Well, who wouldn't be?
We're gonna go hunt Bigfoot.
But that's cool that you auditioned for it.
I did. I sent in a little audition like over a year ago. This was
Okay.
like a year or 2 years ago. It was around the same time I started up here.
Okay.
But Yeah, I'm just saying. You should probably reach out to Sci-Fi and let them know they made a horrible mistake. I don't even know if it was Sci-Fi who was putting this on.
It sounds like it. Yeah.
Obviously, no new cryptid hunting show that I'm aware of has actually like hit the market, so it was probably because they didn't hire me. Just
Oh, it's totally for that reason. Totally. But yeah, that would have been awesome.
I would have hunted cryptids with all my heart.
Yeah.
They're like, we need someone who's not afraid of spelunking. I was like, man,
Totally.
I'm down to do it. Like I will scream when there are spiders. But that makes for good TV.
It does.
Byron says east of Pawnee, the city have caught them on video also.
Oh wow. Cool. We have to check those out.
You gonna go hunt yourself some cryptids?
Me?
Yeah.
No. No.
Oh. Well, I mean, all right then.
But I'm all for other people hunting them.
And
I'm
you
fine
getting
with
to
that.
watch?
Yeah. Yep. It sounds like work.
Hunting the cryptids.
Hunting for cryptids.
I would want to go with my brother. I feel like me and both of my brothers. I feel like me and both my brothers would be prime cryptid hunting team shenanigans.
Right.
We would, because
Yeah.
like the one brother, like, so he's the bodybuilder. He's like, go forth, like, be awesome, like, do the thing, you know, pre-workout, go. He would just be in it for like the hiking, and that he's also like, he has a degree in like some fancy
Cryptozoology?
no,
Oh, okay.
like some actual kind of outdoorsy thing.
How dare you say
Um,
cryptozoology is not an actual thing?
It's an actual outdoorsy thing. And then like the youngest brother is very like, okay. Like he wouldn't talk bad about anything, but he would definitely be like the skeptic. But like if anything happened,
He'd be like maximum eye roll the whole time.
not even maximum eye roll. Like he's the kind of guy where if Bigfoot just walked up in front of him and
Yep.
started like just doing Bigfoot things, he
Eating
wouldn't even blink.
Jack Link's beef jerky.
Yeah, he would just be like, well, that happened.
Okay.
Like it would not faze him. He would.
He's had his childhood wonder beaten out of him.
Possibly.
Right.
But yeah, he would not. All I'm saying is we would make an excellent team.
Right. Nice. That's cool. Okay. There's so much dry brushing over here. So much. So the coffin is finished. Yay! Now I just have to paint the inhabitant of the coffin. There we go. And the mummy.
Yeah, there's some like guts on that skeleton.
Some what?
So I feel like it's sitting in its own like decay.
Possibly.
That's how I painted it anyway.
I think it might be like a blanket.
Like, nope,
There's-
it's gross.
Cool.
I made the decision, Dave. Not
Okay,
going back.
it's gross. There we go. So that's my sarcophagus. Done. Yay. Why did I finish the sarcophagus and the coffin first? I don't know. Must be a reason.
And
So using some ivory here just to give the skeleton a quick dry brush. Sometimes, I'll show you. Actually, I'll show you on this on the mummy. But sometimes when you're priming a model, you can get a little bit too much paint on it, or if the paint's going on a little bit dry from a spray can, you can it ends up sort of absorbing a lot of the things like washes or paints. So you can see there that it's almost gone back to a white sort of color up here. So that's been absorbed down into the primer. But the cool thing is that it doesn't mean that the paint job is ruined or anything like that. You can always go back and do a little bit of extra painting, a little bit of extra shading, and you won't really have a problem. It just works a little bit differently sometimes. So I can just hit this with a quick dry brush. Leona's apologizing in the background there. I'm not sure if anybody heard that. It's kind of tough, but it's something that happens every now and again. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. But when it does that, it just means that you end up with a sort of a different result to what you might have been expecting. So I'm going to put that dry brush on there, and now I can come back with. Do I have it in here? I don't know that I do. No, I don't. Okay. So I'm going to grab some more of the snakebite leather, which was the original color that I used for the.
None of that's dry
wraps.
enough to do anything.
Fun?
I'm trying to paint swiftly, but not effectively.
Oh, okay. We still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
Plenty of time there. So I can get a little bit of the. Where's my tray? That's okay. We super zoomed in. Okay. Just a little bit of the snakebite leather and some water there. Thin it down a little bit. And then rather than splashing it over the whole thing, I'm just going to paint it into the kind of the recess, sort of the shadowy areas, the recesses, and there. So we start to get that shading definition back on the. And the other thing you can do as well is if you brush some of that on and it goes a little bit too far on, you can always come back and, while it's wet, just rub your finger across it, and that'll pull that off the highlights there. So there we go. The snakebite leather, by the way, doesn't taste particularly good. So if you happen to be a brush licker like myself, be wary. There we go. And just come back with a little bit of that ivory to blend that in along the edges. There we go. We have a zombie. Well, not a zombie, a mummy. My bad.
I mean, it's
My bad.
alive. It's an undead thing that
It is an
is
undead thing. Yeah.
now alive.
That shouldn't be coming out of its sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Cool. We have that. So the skeleton.
Either that or they went really out of their way to like bury this guy alive, but
Right.
like as a Egyptian king. Because everything else looks very like medieval torture chamber, but they're like, this guy's deepest fear is to be buried alive in Egypt as a mummy.
We're gonna take him.
We
Take him all
gotta-
the way.
We gotta indulge that.
Yep. Nope. There we go. Is that it? Nope. That's not it. Oh, okay. I can't find my dark gray, so I'm gonna mix a little bit. Yeah. Yep. No, it's okay. That's cool.
Are you sure? Because there's like
1,000 of
There's
them.
dark gray right here.
Cool. Okay, let's go with that.
Ready? Ready?
Can we go to the top?
Woohoo!
I caught it. I too can be Henry Cavill. Oh, good. Here we go. Yep. Dark gray's a really nice one. Nice and easy. Cool. So it seems like the chat has gone kind of quiet.
I know.
Has somebody left us?
Start.
Please don't. Please say you haven't left us.
Chat, come back. I'm sorry we spoke about Bigfoot. Obviously, you don't like cryptids. That's okay. It's not okay, actually. You should really get on that. But
He's saying stay gone. It's terrible. So I just paint the what I think is a blanket kind of thing.
no, but I was like,
Underneath,
those are guts.
Those are guts. They might be guts, but I'm not going to paint them like guts. Let's go for a blanket kind of look. It's not like averse to painting guts, but I'm not sure it's necessary in this torture chamber. So there we go. Okay. Oh, Mark says still here. Hooray! Somebody said we're just excited to hear about the snake bite taste test. Oh my goodness. Nope. Byron says, what color did Dave use to highlight the coffins? So the coffin started with the wildwood, the wildwood wash over it, and then a dry brush with beige brown from Vallejo Model Color Range, which is that one, favorite of mine, and then a light dry brush around the edge with ivory. Also, pardon?
Overexposed.
Yeah, super overexposed, but it looks much better on the what do you call it? The coffin. So use that, and for the sarcophagus, it was a base of snakebite leather painted over the sarcophagus. Highlighted, all the panels were individually highlighted with sand yellow from Vallejo. Where is it? There we go, sand yellow. And then a light dry brush of the ivory at the end. One of the things I typically do is I typically try to keep my highlighting colors or my dry brushing colors fairly tight on a particular project. So particularly for something like furniture, like set dressing, like these pieces are, you want them all to look good in the background, really, because your adventurers are going to be exploring through there, or your force is going to be moving through that section of the dungeon, whatever it happens to be. The idea isn't to detract or like steal attention from your characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's just to sit behind them and sort of push them to the front. So that's why I'm always using quite a lot of desaturated colors for these terrain pieces. Of course, if you do that sort of thing on a regular basis, your players will know that if you paint something,
Like in the old cartoons.
Hmm?
You know how in old cartoons where like you could always tell the thing they were gonna grab because it was painted extra extra.
Right. Extra bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you definitely want them to check out that porcelain vase in the middle of the room, you paint that a lot brighter and more saturated. Psychology, people. It's psychology. Okay, so there we go. That's we can leave that. I could come back and paint that, like highlight the grey, but I don't know that there's a need. Maybe that is a pile of guts right in the middle there. I'll just leave that as is. Put him in the coffin.
Team Guts.
There you go. Have to push him down in there. Ta-da! Oh. There we go. So, Righty-o, onto the... What are you working on at the moment?
I am working on the coffin while this dries, so my painty fingers don't ruin everything.
Right.
I'm just trying to darken up bits and then probably go over my little, I have like little blood stains on the coffin.
Okay.
Because my brain, they're just reusing this coffin.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Apparently.
Yeah.
For their torture. They had budget cuts at the torture center and they're reusing it.
It makes me think that maybe they aren't sanitizing between between victims.
But yeah, just darkening it up so the wood grain comes out a little bit more. And then I'll probably splatter some more darker shades of red as if it's a little bit more dried.
Right.
'Cause
Okay. Who wants to have a guess as to what color I painted these manacles?
10/10?
Correct. You weren't even looking,
Nope.
and you knew. Amazing. Amazing. Gretchen pays attention.
I do.
I know.
Sometimes.
All the time, I think.
Many
Taking that
times.
information in.
I try.
There we go. Yes. A little leather strap across the middle. I'm going to paint with some red leather from the LAYFIELD. There we go. Yeah, you can see that there. So give that a quick base coat, highlight it with some red leather, and then a little bit of ivory into that highlight as well. Because I think with these pieces, you're not looking for maximum contrast on them. As I said, you want them to sit there and be the backdrop to the story. What do we got here? The manacles too. Decide what color I'm going to paint the ropes. Yep, on the rack.
I'm just going to be putting my skeleton inside of here, so I don't know why I'm doing little blood splatters, but on the off chance that anyone decides to investigate
Right.
and they're like, let's dump out this skeleton.
See what's hidden underneath.
Yeah, the answer is, look at these blood splatters. I wonder, was he put in there alive? Dun dun dun.
Nope, it's a mimic. They move the skeleton, and as they're lifting it out, the entire coffin comes alive. Eats them.
Secretly a mimic.
That's what it is. It's a mimic.
That'd be the worst mimic ever. Mimicking like a like a
A coffin?
sarcophagus if it's in an area where people are like grave robbing, sure.
Right.
But like straight up coffin.
Just in case, like, it's sleeping and then it gets buried. And then it wakes up and it's like, oh. I think it'd be okay.
It'll be fine.
I have a feeling that it wouldn't make it to that sort of situation. Can they change shapes?
Mimics?
Mimics?
I don't know.
Or are they stuck with what they... And who picked... Like, if they're stuck with it, do they get to pick their shape?
I don't know enough about mimics. I've never looked into mimic lore. Chat, are any of you just like strangely knowledgeable in mimic lore?
Or even regularly knowledgeable in mimic lore? More knowledgeable than us.
I just know that they mimic.
Yep. I'm curious, though. Okay. So, a little highlight of red leather there, and then I'll get a bit of the so it gets a bit more of a almost peachy kind of color. And come along and hit those final highlights. Kind of dab it along the edge there to give a bit of a texture, so it feels like that leather is has been stretched and broken and cracked over the years. Years and years of torture.
Years and years of it.
Yeah.
Itty bitty little tortures.
Just a little bit.
Itty bitty tortures.
Okay.
They can be any objects they see.
Okay, cool.
Haha. So you could just have an unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm sure they'd wake up. Like, if they were asleep and somebody came along and picked them up and tried to bury them.
Instantly turn into something else.
Yeah. That's what I think. There we go. So just using the same colors here for the kind of the wrappings around the implements of torture. So again, there's that connection between the pieces. Okay. Let that dry. Come back to the Iron Maiden. There we go. Trying to find the driest of my dry brushes. Fold back that paper. So I get some gunmetal here.
Byron, what is the difference in ghoul versus zombie? I think ghouls are typically described as a creature that has more like awareness. Like they're more like vampire in stature, except instead of blood, it has to be human flesh of some kind. Whereas zombies, I think, are more described as like not being aware.
Yeah. No. No, I thought my take on it is always that ghouls are living,
Yeah.
zombies are
Deceased.
deceased.
But a ghoul, in order to
Unliving.
keep living, still has to eat flesh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm?
One has a more ghoulish outlook. But,
And that's the zombie, ironically enough. There we go. The ghoul has a Middle Eastern origins, or the word? Yep. Okay. Leona's looking it up. Okay, so I've just dry brushed the Iron Maidens there, lightly with some gunmetal. Which looks pretty neat. So they've got that nice sort of glinting silver on the edges, but if I wanted to darken that down a little bit more, so just quickly I'm going to give the, oh, there we go. How you doing? I don't know. Just got a little bit of a dry brush there to pick out those spikes. Yep. Somebody said originally ghouls were demons in folklore. Jason says, my understanding is that ghouls exist around cemeteries and they feast on the dead. Zombies, on the other hand, are the undead. In literature, ghouls were living eaters of the dead. Their carrion nature turned them into ghouls. Zombies are just the walking dead. Sort of like a Wendigo, but with graveyards. Says some key. So yeah. Cool. So now that we're all agreed
now that we
on
know.
ghouls and zombies, everyone knows what they can be for Halloween next week.
I already know what I'm going to be.
What are you going to be? Or are you
know
going to
what I'm
surprise us?
gonna You know what I'm going to be.
I do, but I'm not going to tell anybody.
I'm going to show up. I'm just going to be in costume. I'm going to be ready to go. And then I'm going to have to finagle.
That's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to take a little bit of Nuln oil, which is a black wash there, and because I've got paint splattered all over my tray, I'm going to spin it around so that I can, so I've got a little clearish area. But some Nuln oil, and I'm going to mix a little bit of charred brown in there. And some water. So thin, thin wash there. Kind of tough because the charred brown is very is the most pigmented of the three between the water, the wash, and the paint. Adding in a little bit will change that fairly quickly. So change the hue appearance of it fairly quickly. So I'm going to make sure I don't put too much in. And then just brush it onto the Iron Maiden. You get a slightly, you can get an aged, sort of almost corroded, but not, it's not sort of over the top rust kind of look. Because if you've got this down in a dungeon, it's going to be damp. So there'll be a lot of opportunity for it to start to decay. Of course, if you owned your own dungeon and you wanted to stop this, you could probably paint this in a black paint, so it's still very grim and dark and menacing. There we go, and that would stop it from rusting, of course. So that's why everybody tuned in for Iron Maiden Maintenance 101.
And now you know.
Now you know. The more you know. On here, I'm going to paint the handles and the blades of these implements in black first, just to help them stand out a bit from the leather. This one looks like an ice pick. What are they going to be using an ice pick for? There we go. Don't. Everybody hear Leona scream? Nope. Good. Didn't happen. Never happened. Okay. There we go. How's yours coming along?
Adding some blood. Well, I mean,
just adding some blood.
It's a torture table.
Of course. There we go. I think I'm going to add some blood splattered on the little tools. Yeah. I just remembered as well, I painted some, what do you call it? Teeny thin on the manacles. Go back and just hit them with a little bit of gunmetal. And go like that. And then these two bits over here. Great. So once that gunmetal's dry there, I can hit that with the same wash, the mix of the black and charred brown, or the Nuln oil and charred brown. That should be fine. Cool. Excellent. Oh, and Chris is saying, Leona, you're creeping in the music early.
Yes. Because it was 5 minutes.
It's 5 minutes to go. Oh, and it's at 3:58 already.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Time flies when
Time
you talk
flies.
about torture.
Indeed. Sumky says, IKEA Torture torture table. Get to assemble it yourself.
That's torture in its own right.
Yep.
No directions, assembling your own torture table.
Yeah. Chris said, why would there be blood? They're professionals. No one wants to work with old bloody tools. This is true. So I think these guys actually, they're so good. They get paid so much money that they buy a new set of tools every time. Yeah. So, just quickly then. We've got like a minute to go. So just quickly then, I'm going to paint some fresh, shiny new torture implements. All these little blades here. There we go. Is that shiny enough for you, Chris? Oh, let me get it angling right.
Freshly sharpened.
Freshly sharpened and polished. But it's really more for the to frighten the people being tortured.
Yeah, no one's actually getting tortured here, obviously.
No.
This is a family.
What is this? A torture chamber for ants? Sorry, I had to do it.
Yes. Yeah, they're drawing. I'm not gonna be able in the next no minutes. I will play. That's not in. Wait, yeah, that is. My arm was in the way. This is still wet. Every time I touch something, I ruin it a little.
Dope.
There we. Ta-da! Look at them. They're so cute and tiny. Cute, tiny. That's out of frame. I want to bring it this way. The direction towards me. This is very damp. Okay. Ta-da!
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks great. It sounds silly to have blood on the lid of the coffin there, but
If they're burying people alive and reusing stuff,
it
I
works.
feel like
It works really well. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
great there.
I mean, I imagine if it's all in the same place and there's just blood.
Right. There we go. Okay. I'll put mine up there. Oh, no! Okay. No spinner. I'm going to move that to the side then. Bring them all back here. So no spinner today. But yes. So there's the table, the tools, the skeleton in the coffin, mummy coming out of the sarcophagus, a couple of Iron Maidens. Leona just said they look so good, and she said it in a voice that suggested she thought they weren't going to. She has no faith in us. No faith in us. But no, they do look fantastic.
There we go.
They look really good.
That's more visible. I was like, oh, Dave's smart. He's putting it on the white backdrop. That's the backdrop that allows. See, yours is before the torture. There's no blood or anything, and mine's after the torture.
Yep. I feel like I slacked off this episode. You just crushed it. Nice work.
Woohoo.
Round of applause for Gretchen, the winner of this week.
They're winning.
Yeah,
And
that looked great.
you can't really see the blood quite on here. If I turn it this way, you can.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
On the bottom.
It's all coagulated around the bottom there.
Well, because it has spikes on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's where it makes sense for the blood to have poured.
Yeah.
In my brain.
That's fine. Yep, very good with that. Byron says painting happy little minis. Indeed. They don't always get to have fun. Excellent. Chris also says perfect, just out of the autoclave. Talking about the tools. Awesome.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Well,
So
that was the torture That was the torture chamber from Terrain Crate. The
From-
torture crate from chamber. Yep.
the Terrain Crate torture chamber from Mantic Games. Available in your local store right now.
Yep.
I do like the, I know that we're running over on time here, but I do really like the new packaging that they've got for the terrain crates. Looks
It is
great.
very nice.
Yep, very cool. Nice work, Mantic.
Reminder, real quick, if you do #betrayal, you could win Betrayal of House on the Hill.
Look at that. It's like we're next to each other.
It is. A nice spooky game for Halloween. So you should definitely do that #betrayal.
Hashtag betrayal.
And so that you know if you've won or not, or you can just celebrate Promptober with us and showcase your own minis, you should make sure you are following the Painting Happy Little Minis Facebook page.
Yep. Definitely. All of those
Do
things.
that. Yeah, all those things. I hit all the marks this time.
You
One
did?
go, Dave. Yeah,
Boom,
that's
boom,
right.
Boom.
Making the magic happen.
And it is indeed magical.
Well, that is all this week. We'll see you next week, and we'll be in costume, right? Right, Dave?
Sure.
Right?
Maybe. Oh, my neck just hurt. I might be dead by next week.
And on that note,
Yes, I will totally die to get out of wearing a costume.
thanks for watching Painting Happy Little Minis. I'm Gretchen,
I'm Dave.
and we'll see you at your friendly local game store.